Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Wednesday, April 15th, 2020. It is 2:16 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. What I want to look at today is what the market's doing, what Bitcoin's doing, and pose the question, is it time to hedge some of our bets? Is it time to hedge some of that Bitcoin hodl into Tether? Of course, as always, not financial advice. This is just my opinion. I'm just talking out loud. This is entertainment purposes only. But with that said, I do think this is an important thing to look at right now. And we'll rock through these tabs and I will pose the question. All right, a red day in the market. We're starting to see some alts turn green. That's a good sign. But basically, Bitcoin down 1.5% last 24 hours, coming in at 6,754. Not bad. We're cool. That's good. Looking at longs versus shorts on Binance, longs 41% and shorts 58%. Let's look at the Russell, actually the Dow Jones in the top, S&P 500 in the middle, and Russell 2000 on the bottom. Basically all closed on our red candle today. Pretty tight doji for all those. And if you look at these green arrows, basically, we looking big picture, we're kind of sideways really at this point with those markets. They dumped, they recovered, and now they're just kind of sideways. So we have a lot of indecisiveness there, really. They haven't decided if they want to continue pumping or continue dumping. Sideways is good. You can work with that. All right, looking at the U.S. dollar on top, gold in the middle, and Bitcoin on the bottom. U.S. dollar, during the beginning of some global craziness, it pumped, and now it's retraced some, and it's kind of going sideways. Today was a good green candle. And then, of course, when the dollar was pumping, gold dumped, and also Bitcoin dumped also. But gold has begun this beautiful upwards channel. Even if it had a red candle today, we have a beautiful upwards channel, and that's kind of what you would expect to see from sound money. So dollar pumped. I think oftentimes a lot of that was because we were just printing money, and we still are. But even with printing money and more to come, dollar sideways right now. Definitely some of this gold probably got sold because they had to cover margins and such. Definitely when traders are scared, they go to gold. When they're terrified, they go to cash. So maybe also this pump here in cash might have been just that the traders, be they retail or be they big hedge funds, doesn't really matter. They were all terrified. So anyway, dollar pumping, gold dumping. All right, cool. Dollar sideways, but now and then of course at the same time the dollar has recovered and gone sideways. Bitcoin has this beautiful gold has this beautiful upwards channel, and that's kind of what I'd expect to see. The issue I'm having is Bitcoin dumped along with gold. Only problem is there's no upwards channel going on. Got this sideways channel going on. We need something that looks more like this. So that shakes my confidence a little bit. Come on, Bitcoin. If you sound money, you kind of got to do what gold is doing, and you're not. All right, also do note that there's this crazy Binance futures contest going on. It started around the 10th, I do believe, 410. And if we look at the daily chart here, I don't totally understand the Binance futures tournament, but it does end on the 25th. And I do believe from some people I have talked to that it is going to cause more instability than usual because, well, they're dumping and pumping trying to win this tournament, although there's not that much money in it to really win. So ultimately, this might just be, who knows, it's a weird thing that they're doing. I don't think for people who have the money to be playing this game, this tournament, I just don't think that they need to worry about 51. Like right now, the team leaders of the 20 largest teams will win a pool of 51,000 USD in BNB tokens, but I think it takes like 10 Bitcoin to be able to actually enter this or something. So anyway, whatever. It might be the case, it might not be. Like I say, I have heard some reports that there's a very good likelihood of this causing more Bitcoin instability price, more volatility. And if you do look on the 10th, when it started, well, on the 10th, April 10th, boom, a big dump. Well, that's what, that's the only thing you can really guarantee if you're a whale, for sure. Yeah, you can pump, but the one thing you can guarantee, which is much easier, is to dump. So do we have teams here on Binance playing against each other, kind of like coordinating the pumps and the dumps where they all make money and let's see who wins? I don't know. But regardless, big dump on the 10th, and now we're kind of sideways. But do note this, though. We had this upwards trend line going here, this upwards channel. And I can delete this one here. I mean, it's pretty strong. We do see that it was there. We can look at it like this too. On the daily, we kind of had this nice upwards channel going on. And if I arrange this right, it's kind of nice. An upwards channel going on. But look at that, boom, we're below it. And we're also, this yellow moving average here, that's the 50 moving average, and the white one is the 200. Well, with that said, we are below this nice uptrend that we had going on, and definitely we seem to be finding resistance with the 50 moving average. So with that said, also look at the daily MACD. MACD is the blue line, and then the red line is the signal. When that blue line crosses the red line, I do believe a good deal of retail investors, and some that are bigger, they definitely do trade the MACD. And why I say that is it's an imperfect indicator, but do look, the last time we had it cross negative, if I do a little percentage here, last time we had it cross negative, between that time and then when it crossed positive again, if you had sold when it crossed negative and bought when it crossed positive on the daily, you would have missed like a 39% loss. So with that said, there are people who do trade in and out on the MACD daily for sure. And we are below this upwards channel. We're getting smacked down by the 50 moving average, which many do think is a sign of health of bullish versus bearish sentiment for Bitcoin, and the 200 moving average definitely is, and we're below that. So are we going to challenge this 50 moving average and get above it? Well, we're already below the channel, and the MACD is looking dismal. So before that crosses, when it gets close, just what I'm doing, I'm thinking out loud, I'll be hedging out a bit, because as you can see, when it crosses negative, boom, never a good day. And we're already below the 200, we're already below the 50. I don't expect a miracle if we cross negative on the MACD. Watch that, have an alert set up in TradingView, for heaven's sakes. With that said, we have been trending in this box, I should say ranging in this box between 6,600 and 6,800. And it seems to be pretty good support right there. We definitely can hang out there and all is good. I'm not too concerned until we get below 6,600, but do look here in the 4 hour, negative MACD, and it's going the wrong way. It's getting wider. If we go to the 2 hour, I often look at the 2 hour MACD. I know there's endless indicators you can look at. I look at many, but the MACD in some time frames is pretty telling for Bitcoin. On the 2 hour chart here, we're below the 200 moving average. We're back in our 66 to 6,800 range. Not too worried about it, but also on the 2 hour negative MACD. Just beginning to cross, maybe turn positive. And well, let's keep going here. If we look at the 45-minute chart, definitely in a downwards direction. Directional index is in the red. The ADX is positive, but that doesn't mean much. Binary indicators are red, and if you do look, I have all these linked to in the show notes. If you want to use these indicators, the ADX, DI histogram, SMU binary decimal candles, and the TTM squeeze and momentum by Drekken, especially this squeeze indicator. There's a video that he did about it in the show notes. So basically, we have been in a downward trend. We took this little bit of a dump recently, and it does look like these indicators are showing that we're tightening up, and we'll probably, pull out of this. But really, on this short time frame, we got to get above this 200 moving average on a 45-minute chart. This downwards channel is not cool. We got to get out of that. And then also on the 2 hour chart, we got to get above this 200 moving average. We can't have this negative MACD. If we look at a 4 hour chart, we're still above the 200 moving average on the 4 hour chart, but the MACD is negative. And right here on the daily, we are really flirting with disaster looking at that MACD. So with that said, also below the 50, it seems to be resistance, and we've broken below the bottom of a pretty nice upwards channel we had going on. With that said, let's say you want to hedge your bets. Well, here's the thing. If you go to Tether at the moment, hedge some of your Bitcoin in a Tether, well, like I say, if it dumps, well, you lose less money. If it pumps, you're not losing, you're just not making money you could have made. It's all about how you want to play it. If you're a long-time hodler, good to go. If you're, but if you're a trader on the daily, like if you're trading actively, if you're an active alt trader and you're trading against Bitcoin, like I say, this volatility right here, if you're trading short time frames at all, swing trading, etc., day time frames, hour time frames, however you might be trading, this kind of volatility is difficult, and you're fighting a downwards channel. So let's look at a little bit more. I did want to note this on the 45-minute chart, ETH versus BTC. Look at that, ETH is doing really well. Above the 200 moving average, this white moving average here, it's wonderful. It broke above the 200 moving average here on the 45-minute chart back on the April 2nd. It rocked. It kind of went sideways, plateaued, got below 200 moving average, and now it did some red EMAs on a super guppy indicator, but it challenged the 200, and boom, it is above the 200 and the 314 moving average. It is rocking, looking wonderful. Interesting, not a bad, not financial advice, but I kind of grabbed a position here when we looked like we had got a confirmed uptrend. I hopped in, and I've been making some money on that. Now, why I mentioned is it time to hedge? I just want to point a few things out that I think are important, because if we do get that negative MACD on the daily, if we do find another dump, could it be a little bit worse than we want to deal with if you're not a long-term hodler? I want to mention this. Central banks recommend it to ban stablecoins. Okay, it is the Financial Stability Board, the FSB. You can look into them. Who are they? And they're talking about banning stablecoins like USDT, USDC. And with that said, why do they want to do that? Let me find it. Where was that? It gets into why in this article, but let's look at this article over here. It's a little better. The crypto market faces its biggest risk, yet as central banks make a surprising move. And really, what are they worried about? It all comes down to this sentence right here in these two articles. Widespread adoption, they believe, would give rise to an independent financial system out of their control. It could even replace fiat currencies and exacerbate bank runs. So, you can read these articles, link to them in the show notes, but basically the FSB, and you can look into them, you can decide if they have teeth or not, but here's the deal. This is scary. And if this happens, it ain't the end of crypto, but it's a pain in the ass, because we need these stable coins if you are a trader. Also, we need these to swing in and out of Bitcoin, let's say on a daily MACD or whatever. I think if these get nixed, ain't the end of crypto, but I would really expect, it's got to be honest with you, a dump. And so this is not great news, and this just came out. And here's the deal. I mean, we're looking a little weak, and if this MACD goes, if we have another dump for Bitcoin, it's been a bit weak. We're looking at a downwards channel. It's a short time frame. It's a 45-minute chart. But basically, what I'm doing, I'm thinking out loud. I know this is kind of a long one, but I myself, I'm hedging a bit of my long-term hodl into Tether. If I'm planning on doing it now, and I'm definitely doing it before this daily MACD crosses, I guarantee you that. Because look what happens when it crosses. Look, it crossed here, negative, and look what we went through. Boom. All right. And that was a cross when we were above the 200 moving average and the 50. Now we are below them both. So, guess what could happen? You could see, another 50% dump right there. So anyway, with that said, and of course another halving is coming, and that's a good sign. But also along with that, who knows what miners and what whales may do manipulation-wise as we get closer to the halving. It's like 28 or 26 days from now. Anyway, what you can do, I just want to mention, is something I'm doing. Now, I am a member of Blockchain Education, have been for over 2 years. So one thing that I have found that's been working for me really, really powerfully, along with trading, my own trades that I'm doing, but also in auto trading here, something you can do. If you click on this, if you were a member, if you joined up, you could go to auto trading here, okay? And there's all kinds of different types of trading that you can do, all right? But you can also say, I want to trade just what the system, the automated trading is doing. It's algorithm-based trading. You get in and you select what percentage you want to sell out. You want to sell all at once, or do you want to do a trailing take profit, etc., etc., etc. Basically, you hop in here and you say, I want to do some USD trades. I'm finding that with the stability of the market rate, instability, or you might say volatility of the market right now, Bitcoin being so shaky, it's I just have stopped trading Bitcoin against alts right now. And I'm just, especially when it's doing a downwards channel like it is here, as you can see, and it's very volatile. It's just a pain to trade. But if you go to USDT, these little pump and dumps here that are going on, they don't really affect USDT that much. USDT versus alt trades. And so I just, dumped more money than I usually do into this particular one. I'm doing fine as Bitcoin hits its stability, and usually when people are trading alts against Bitcoin, they get wrecked. Hit stop losses or their profits just take a lot longer than they'd expected. So with that said, yeah, maybe hedge out. Just not even a suggestion, because I can't do that. I can't give you financial advice, and this isn't. But me, I am really not too happy about what we're seeing here on the daily chart. Below the 50, it's resistance. We're not getting it above it. We're below the 200 moving average. I mean, look at that last cross, that last negative cross of the MACD. It was above the 250 at that time, and boom, it was devastating. I know. There's reasons for that. There's global reasons for that too. I know. But then again, like, look at this. I should say, basically, we were above the 200 moving average when that happened, and now we're below the 250 when that might happen. So that's just not so good. And then also, like I say, looking at the dollar, it was pumping, now it's sideways, and then gold dumped, now it's doing a beautiful upwards channel. Bitcoin dumped, and we're just not seeing that upwards channel that I'd like to see. So with that, is it time to hedge a little bit out? Could we see more dumps coming? And with that said, this, using blockchain education, is how I'm just sitting back and making nice money against USDT trades. Automate it. I'm not even doing anything, and I'm making money while the market and the world is crazy. With that said, and sorry this was a long one, but obstacles can't stop you, weather can't stop you, heartbreak cannot stop you, failure can't stop you, only you can stop you. It's a crazy time. Just be good to each other, have a plan. I'm glad you're here for the peaceful revolution. Bitcoin does matter. I don't ever like hedging out of Bitcoin, but I gotta admit right now, it is something that I am about to do. Take care.